Hi, I'm Leslie Gonzalez, advisor to the Master Hand Knitting Program, and with me is Heather Storda, co-chair emeritus on our committee. Heather, what do you think separates a master knitter from other knitters?
Well, I think a master knitter, one, has the ability to learn a new skill on their own, and the tenacity to practice that skill until they can perform it to excellence. And then, in addition, they need to be able to articulate to other knitters and articulate well, both verbally and written, how to execute that skill. And then, in addition, the ability to evaluate their own knitting and recognize weaknesses in their work and then work to improve upon them. And really what makes this possible is the ultimate skill, the ability to research well. This means sifting through information, separating good advice from bad advice, and then finding supporting sources that back up the initial sources that you find.
I couldn't agree with you 100%. And we've given those people participating in the program a good start and a good foundation of resources. And they all begin with our website. We've recently rearranged the information on our website so that all of the information is now together. It was kind of hard to get around a little bit. And we've got all of this information on the Master Hand Knitting page in the useful information section. If you go to the main website, at the top of the main page are tabs. The Master Hand Knitting page can be found under the certification tab. And these, I should say, might be a little bit different if you're using a mobile device on your phone. There might be a menu of some sort where there wouldn't be tabs, but you would see this same information. Anyway, once you're on the Master Hand Knitting page, you would scroll down to the bottom where you see these 4 little yarn samples. On the far right is a link to the useful information page. Now, once you're on the useful information page, you'll notice that there's 2 sections of links, and they're listed with bullet points. The top links are public links. Anybody can view these. And mostly they're just things that we moved over from the Ravelry page. It's still over at Ravelry, but we also put them here on our website so that anybody who's not on Ravelry could come here and see them. And you'll notice at the bottom it says photos of level 1, 2, and 3 swatches. Those links go directly back to Ravelry, but to see the page that we made with the excellent examples, you don't have to be a member of Ravelry to view that page. So anybody can see those pictures. And we recommend you go and look at these pictures before you submit your submissions so that you can see, does my work look like this? Does my swatch look like this? And if it doesn't, maybe I better go back and recheck. Now, the bottom set of resources are member-only resources. The first part are just some things that we've had laying around, little PDFs that we've used on the committee. I went and pulled things out of the newsletter that we had that applied to this. And so these are PDFs you can go to, and they'll help you with the program. Also, you'll see the changes for the 2020 revision. There's a list of those changes there if you needed to know what those are. And at the very bottom are, Carolyn made for us these shortcut links to Cast On, because you can't get to Cast On from this page unless you use these shortcut links. And so they're there to get to the indexes that Arenda made for us. The top one being the On Your Way to the Masters, But the other three, the fashion framework, the skills building, et cetera, are also going to be articles that may be helpful for you from Cast On.
Right, and while these links are shortcuts, all of the articles are accessed through Cast On. And sometimes a comprehensive search of Cast On might be a better way to go. So to search Cast On, you would go to your member resources Cast On magazine. And if you're logged in, you should be able to go into Cast On. And over here on the right is the search box. Make sure you're searching all issues in all categories, and then type in your keyword or phrase and into the search bar, and then hit search. And then the links will show up underneath down here. And so here are all I typed in short rows, so all of the articles and patterns and whatnot related to short rows show up in this list down here. So don't worry if you can't remember how to search Cast On. There's a video tutorial that we can link to along with this video as well. So let's go back to the Master Hand Knitter main page now. There are 3 other tabs or links down below. One on the far left is prerequisites. Orenda made this PDF for both the Master Hand Knitting Program and the Professional Knitter Certification Program. I am an instructor for one of the instructors for the Professional Knitter Certification. This page is worth mentioning in this discussion because it shows examples of things that should be improved upon prior to submitting your work for either the Master Hand Knitting Program or the Professional Knitter Program. We strongly encourage you to look at this and evaluate your work for improvement before submitting. The Professional Knitter Certification is another route that knitters can take to gain status in the knitting industry. To explore the differences between the Master Hand Knitting Program and the Professional Knitter Certification, you can click on this link over here titled MHK or PCK, and that would give you some more information.
And we should note that all the samples, all 4 of these links, can be viewed by both non-members and members. Only that members only section in the useful information section would require you to have membership. And finally, there is the Master Hand Knitting FAQs, our frequently asked questions. So if you've got a question, the answer might just be here. If it's not, or if you have a different question, I'm always available. My email is listed below this video, or you can simply use the Contact Us email on the website and it'll be forwarded to me. So let's go back to the useful information page for a minute. We moved the Master Hand Knitting bibliography link here. Heather, how many times can we stress the importance of using good sources?
Not enough. That's why we take the time to make this comprehensive bibliography and to make it and to update it periodically. We think it's so important that we've now attached it to the directions at the end for each level.
That's right. Now, can you highlight what you think is important in the bibliography?
Sure. You'll notice that we've dedicated the first 2 pages to discussing resources and also how to distinguish the types of books. It's important to read this information. The bibliography also isn't set up the way a typical bibliography is, and this should not be used as an example for the document that you will send with your Master Knitter submission. That bibliography should only include works cited, and it should be arranged alphabetically, not by category.
I think one of the things that we really want to stress is that good research includes using a multiple type of media, books, journals, magazines, and the internet, all of them.
Yeah, and sometimes we see submissions with only internet sources. We see that quite a lot. We often have to ask for those submitters to go back and include other media.
So what about videos?
Videos can be used as sources, as a source for a technique, but only cite one video per technique. The videos used in levels 1 and 2 should be no longer than 5 minutes, and the videos used for level 3 should be no longer than 9 minutes long. In your citations, make sure that you include the timestamp for where the relevant information begins. This helps the reviewers a lot. Also, make sure that whatever video you use has either no ads or at most one ad, whether it occurs at the beginning or pops up in the middle. If it's an ad that starts at the beginning, make sure the reviewer is able to skip that ad within 5 seconds.
And we should mention that your blog and YouTube channel are in this bibliography along with Arenda Hollidays. She's the president of the Guild, a long-time co-chair, and she was advisor to the committee. I can't think of better place to go for information for the program than sources coming straight from the committee.
Yeah, and the On Your Way to the Masters articles. These articles are the best place to start with research for any topic, and they are all written by master knitters as well. They were written specifically for people working through the Master Knitter program, and they're your best and they should be your first source to go for any specific topic. They often include at the end a list of references, so that can be an excellent place to start for your own further research.
Right, so if someone went to these sources and got an idea of what we were looking for, then they would have a better idea of what to look for from an outside source.
Yeah.
So one last comment on sources. I notice sometimes people try to use a book that might be hard to find, some obscure source, something not common. And the committee, we try to expand our collective library between us, and we have a relatively large number of committee members, but sometimes we can't always have access to your source. I've heard of reviewers telling me, co-chairs telling me that they're going to the library requesting Interloan Library Lens of a book just to check one resource on one item. And that's a lot of extra work. It takes a lot of extra time, and it's going to add time to your review plus all the reviews in line behind it. So another way to use our bibliography is to realize that these are the books we have access to, and these are books that we're going to be able to go right to and check behind you. So using them is a good idea.
Yeah, but note that while we list the books and that they're all good books, not everything in each book is necessarily correct. We list them because overall they have good information. That's why I mentioned earlier, and why we stress go to the TKGA website first, use the On Your Way to the Masters articles and any of the articles from our series first.
Exactly. Well, this has been a wonderful time talking with you about TKGA website and our resources, and we hope this has helped people that will be watching us and help them understand how to use our website more effectively, how to navigate the sources, and hopefully will help with their submissions in the future.